Hello.
Who are you?
Here's a fun fact for everyone.
Say my name.
Keanu Reeves' middle name is Charles. Oh, if you thought that was interesting, just you wait. You may know Keanu Reeves as a badass assassin in John Wick, or our one true savior in the Matrix trilogy. However, there are some movies and moments that you're forgetting about in his career. Allow me to refresh your memory.
Maybe this will refresh your memory.
I don't know, it's still kind of hazy.
How about this?
Yeah, I remember.
So, something odd happened. Knock Knock came out in 2015 and received moderate praise. It floated around the internet and never made much noise. Odds are, you forgot about this film because you never bothered to check it out. I know that was the case for me. Then, that odd twist of fate hit Netflix. Here I am, scrolling through Netflix with no idea what I'm going to watch, and sure enough, what do I see as the #1 watched movie?
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
Knock Knock. Keep in mind, this was years after the movie came out. The whole world forgot Keanu Reeves did this, and it scratched that itch his fans had since the final John Wick movie came out. Let me tell you something, this movie isn't your typical thriller. It's not even your typical Keanu Reeves film. He plays the victim here, and the two antagonists are young girls that successfully manipulate and hunt him. Go back and take a look at this movie. It's Keanu like I've never seen him before, honestly. He plays a more subdued character, so he doesn't take the spotlight off his younger co-stars. It works to perfection. I think we can all agree on this one. We didn't forget this movie as much as seared it out of our collective memory like a Men in Black neuralizer working overtime. Nowadays, fans pretend like the hype for this movie didn't exist. It was there all right, and we can never get that wasted attention back. All right, to be fair, it's not the worst movie ever made. It's not like Keanu Reeves is coming up to a San Francisco rooftop yelling about how he didn't hit someone and then throwing a water bottle. If you had that reference, congrats. That means you suffered the same fate that I did.
Oh, hi, Mark.
47 Ronin at its core is a solid story. It's just bland. You can tell the company producing it is capitalizing on 3 significant fan interests of the time: Keanu Reeves, anime and manga, and graphic novel adaptations. I'm pretty sure only one of those things is still widely prevalent, and that's Keanu Reeves. His popularity is timeless. So if you want to see Reeves do incredible stunts as a samurai, watch this movie. Otherwise, stick to John Wick. Seriously, there's not that much exciting things happening in this film, and that's why we all forgot about it. Cue the collective groans. Yeah, no, this movie was so obnoxiously nothing that it's no wonder we forgot about it. What do I mean by that? You know that feeling you get right before you go down the hill on a roller coaster? Picture that for an entire movie. No, that's still not right. Okay, picture that same roller coaster, but seated next to you is Keanu Reeves answering questions as monotone as he possibly can. Reeves got top billing for this remake, and his role as Klaatu makes a lot of sense. He can play an alien super well. That's meant as a compliment too, if that wasn't obvious with how I said it. He's the core focus of the movie, but the script gives him nothing to work with, like at all. The Day the Earth Stood Still was lost to the sands of time because it promised so much and delivered so little. The movie even received a Razzie nomination. When you go back and watch the trailer, you see exactly what we're talking about here. It feels epic, and the visuals promise so much. Shockingly, the performances underwhelm, and the production never added enough to the storyline. So just keep forgetting about this one, okay? Oh my god, please do yourself a favor and go watch the trailer for this movie. Here, editor, put a link right there and we'll wait for you to get back. Okay, good? Is that not the funniest thing you've ever seen? It's just like that South Park parody does with Cartman.
How do I reach these kids?
I'm not even joking when I say this is the weirdest role I've ever seen Keanu Reeves in to this point in his career. Like, how does Keanu end up in a Mighty Ducks ripoff? This has to be the oddest casting choice of all time. Okay, it's likely you've never seen this movie, but if you did, you indeed forgot about it. What you see in the trailer is exactly what you get in the film. It's Keanu Reeves teaching a team of inner-city kids how to play baseball. They all grow and learn more about each other because of it. I just can't get over the narrator's delivery in the trailer.
But they're about to get some help.
And how Keanu is still slightly serious despite the fact it's a comedy. Hardball is Keanu like you've never seen him before. And I'm not sure that's a good thing. I know what you're thinking. You see the name Toy Story 4 and you think to yourself, what? Who would forget about Toy Story 4? I'll be honest, I didn't include this entry because I believe anyone forgot about the movie itself. I do think he forgot Keanu Reeves was in this film, though. Well, it's possible, at least even with the recency of the release. Here, let's try a quick exercise. Without looking it up, comment down below what character Reeves voices in this movie. I'd be willing to bet a lot of you are down there saying Duke Kaboom, which is the right answer. However, I guarantee most of you didn't bother to comment because you weren't 100% sure. That's my point. When you hear Duke Kaboom talk and watch how he interacts with the other characters, you don't automatically think of Keanu Reeves. Only his biggest fans still remember he did this role. Duke doesn't talk like Keanu, and he's a bit more emotional than the typical Reeves role. It's a safe bet that people will continue to forget him in this movie long after they watch this video.
It's not fair! Why, Rajon? Why?
Any Gen Zer watching this video certainly doesn't remember this film because they weren't even born yet. So for the Gen X viewers out there, this entry is for you. Also, you're the ones who forgot about this movie, but that's okay. Many critics would argue it's one of Francis Ford Coppola's most underrated films in his long list of projects. So the film is generally regarded as quite the undertaking. It's visually stunning, and the costume design alone is worth remembering. In short, this is a Keanu Reeves film you need to check out if you're a fan of the actor. The biggest reason you need to do that is that he's the most controversial part of the movie. It's a star-studded cast, and some people think that he's the weak link. Look, I'm just the messenger here. I'm not saying that's how I feel about it. I will say that even fans of the film who go back and rewatch it regularly tend to forget he's in the movie. You're either going to think it's his most under-the-radar acting in his entire career, or you'll cringe every time he's on screen. There is no in-between. There's a lot of saturation in the movie industry, hence why a movie that's dark and gritty like Neon Demon tends to slip through the cracks. There was a time when all the film goers and cinema critics were raving about the cinematography and performances in this movie. Then, poof, we all forgot about it. Think about the cougar scene in this movie. Keanu Reeves quite literally confronts a cougar in this movie, and we forgot about it. It's all because it wasn't a huge blockbuster movie. Otherwise, you can bet no one was going to forget that moment, especially considering the fact Hank is one of Reeves' darker performances. Keanu can play the antagonist. We know that from some of his more famous roles. However, this isn't quite that. Hank, the motel owner, is the subtle kind of sinister. We know he has ill intentions just from a look. It's part of what makes Keanu stand out when you do remember this movie. He says a lot without a huge chunk of screen time. The Neon Demon is on track to end up precisely like Knock Knock. Every fan will eventually find the movie on a streaming service someday, and it will resurge in popularity. Back in the 90s, BoJack Horseman was in a very famous TV show, and Keanu Reeves was in a Shakespeare remake. It was just the nature of Hollywood back then. Reeves was part of a cast filled with Academy Award-winning actors and a crew with a powerful vision. We don't remember this movie today because there are so many Shakespeare remakes from this time frame. Much Ado About Nothing was one of the least liked in this group. Kenneth Branagh adapted and directed this film and attempted to capture the magic of the original play. He even casted Denzel Washington in this movie and Michael Keaton. Yet it's Keanu Reeves who received the honor of playing Don John. For those of you who slept through literature class, Don John is the villain of the story. Believe it or not, Reeves received a Razzie nomination for Worst Supporting Actor thanks to this movie. In my humble opinion, it's a little harsh to go that far. I don't think critics understood how Keanu performs on screen, and it got lost in translation. Still, that nomination sort of forced this movie into yesteryear and made it feel all the more forgettable. Yet again, we have Keanu Reeves in a sports movie. It's crazy he even did one sports movie, and if you count Point Break, he did 3 at least. I never thought I'd see the day, and I even saw The Replacements. I believe the majority of viewers can all say we simply forgot this comedy even existed. Here's what I can say about the movie. It's not gonna win an Oscar, but it's not trying to. Trust me. If you like films like Major League, it's a good idea to check this movie out again. I'm positive it'll cause a wave of flashbacks. In other words, you've seen this movie too. You just don't remember. Keanu Reeves plays Shane Falco, a scab quarterback trying to prove he belongs on the field. He's the central character and even gets the girl in the end. The most impressive part of his part in the movie is he actually knows how to throw a football correctly. Seriously, a lot of actors fake throw a football terribly, but Reeves isn't half bad. Go watch and rewatch this one just for that fact alone. You'll find yourself laughing more than you expect. Keanu as Keanu Reeves is peak Keanu Reeves.
You're breathtaking.
Netflix's Always Be My Maybe was met with middling fanfare and modest reviews. It sort of came and went without enough attention paid to it, and that is a tragedy. You've missed or forgotten to watch one of the funniest Keanu Reeves moments in cinema's long, storied history. As I said, Keanu was playing himself in this movie. Ali Wong's character is actually dating him and takes the time to show off her new arm candy to her friends over a nice dinner. The music, the slow motion, and all the Keanu Reeves we can handle makes that scene just incredibly hilarious. If you like well-directed comedic moments and Keanu Reeves, it's the perfect scene for you. We finally see him play a parody of himself here. Then there's the Truth or Dare scene a little later where Keanu shows off even more, and his comedic chops make him the perfect guest star. This movie is so wholesome and hilarious. It's a shame we only paid attention to it for a little bit. Always Be My Maybe deserves a rewatch, even if it's for the Keanu Reeves cameo alone. That's a good enough reason, trust me.
He's truly breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
An E3 season without Keanu Reeves' majestic appearance. How will we go on? Why not reminisce on every other time Keanu just sorta showed up and made things better? Be it animation, gaming, or fern-based humor, no one does it like Keanu Reeves, and without the stress of a lead role. He will always be my definitely. Get it? Because it's like the title, Always Be My Maybe. I'll just show you.
There he is!
Ali Wong's Always Be My Maybe was a massive hit. Her sharp wit, deft sarcasm, and the chemistry between Wong and co-star Randall Park is due a heck of a lot of credit, but the unexpected dash of Keanu pushed it over the edge. You see, in this rom-com, Keanu Reeves plays a primo Hollywood beta hipster version of himself. His scenes work on his ability to poke fun at himself and, reportedly, improv with the best of them. Of course, the dinner scene where everyone first meets Keanu is an instant classic, but I gotta say, his comedic timing in the apartment scene in particular comes to mind, and according to Ali Wong, most of the chaos in that scene was in fact Keanu just doing his thing. Listing off Chinese dignitaries, what's your problem, Sasha, punch in the air, all those hilarious, feral moments, all Keanu.
Look who jumped 40 school buses and landed back into my life.
Toy Story has spanned an entire generation's childhood and coming of age, so 2019's return of Woody, Buzz, and the gang to theaters with Toy Story 4 was gonna put us right in our feels, no matter what. In traditional Toy Story fashion, a new chapter introduced us to new characters, but none can boast the pop cultural impact of Duke Kaboom. Well, the impact of the retired Canadian stuntman culture anyway. Regardless of your professional niche, though, the surprisingly tender stunt motorcyclist isn't on screen for long, but has some of the most entertaining moments in the film.
Oh yeah. Huh. Huh. Yes.
He's posing.
Duke Kaboom's story about his kid Regine is one of the funniest vignettes in Toy Story history, but Keanu delivers his voice acting performance with complete sincerity. And the press tour for Toy Story 4 was a gift of Keanu content and was apparently the first time Keanu heard that he was the entire internet's boyfriend. It's okay, Keanu. We're low maintenance. We swear.
Can you do the jump?
Yes, I Canada!
The comedic duo of Key and Peele blessed us with serious laughs in the 2010s with their sketch comedy, and their foray into film was no exception. Before Jordan Peele's horror success with Get Out, he co-wrote Keanu with Alex Rubens, yes, that Rubens, writer for Community and Rick and Morty, an action comedy where two friends have to save their kidnapped kitten.
God, that's the cutest cat I've ever seen in my life.
A cat named Keanu in a plot that gently mirrors John Wick's very sensitive dog situation is already the inception of Keanu references, but they went and got the man himself to voice the little kitty in a feverish trip sequence. He gives call-outs to the mantra of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and the philosophy of the Matrix, dialing up the Keanu lore within the Keanu-verse even more. It's a short cameo, but he says meow. What more could you possibly want from him?
Meow.
Zach Galifianakis' show Between Two Ferns was a critical success, a talk show mockumentary of public broadcast interviews, usually reserved for academic experts and local businessmen, but in these sketches it's with celebrities proper. This already adds a strange, satirical energy, but then Zach and his guests end up trading some less than gentle barbs.
Benefit lumberjacks.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
In 2019, an incredibly Keanu year, the aforementioned Toy Story 4 and of course John Wick 3 Parabellum released that summer, the sketch show got a big boy, full-length movie. Boasting guests like Matthew McConaughey, Peter Dinklage, and Gal Gadot, you couldn't say the film needed a Keanu bump, but hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, especially if John Wick might fight you from it. Just like with Always Be My Maybe, part of the joy of the performance is the long-documented truth that Keanu is the loveliest man alive. Galifianakis references some age-old criticisms about Keanu, like the implication that he's not very smart and bad at acting.
When the truth is that you're just a man with below-average intelligence.
And Keanu gets to hit back. A taste of vindication for longtime Keanu fans. And he even talks about those vampire rumors. What a joy. When I find myself in times of trouble, Keanu Reeves comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. That's right, Keanu Reeves lending his soothing tones and comedic timing to the third film in the Spongebob Squarepants canon, the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run. Per writer and director Tim Hill, Keanu was always the inspiration for Sage the Sage Tumbleweed. He was thinking of Keanu as he wrote, and had even drawn Keanu into the storyboarding before the actor agreed. He also drew Snoop Dogg into the storyboarding before the rapper agreed to do the film. Tim Hill, can I see your birth chart? Tim Hill, won't you tell us the secrets of manifestation? But it's the sage advice of Sage that does it for me. Can't touch those vibes. Let's slide in here with two slightly more off-the-beaten-path entries. First up, his uncredited role as Ortiz the Dog Boy in the cult favorite Freaked from 1993, which is basically just a scratch-up between Cameo and a supporting role, with Reeves decked out in the finest prosthetics a low-budget passion project can buy to transform him into, well, a dog boy. Reeves gets an even smaller role in the controversial 2016 Nicholas Winding Refn joint, The Neon Demon, wherein he cameos opposite Elle Fanning. Good old Keanu becomes bad old Keanu as our heroine's seedy landlord, who is less than happy when a big cat gets into Fanning's squalid apartment. My favorite part is Reeves' introduction, wherein he shows up as little more than a silhouette, and then...
Whoa. Relax, okay?
Dude doesn't want the cops called, just adding to his general feel of not quite trustworthy, much like most of the characters in Neon Demon.
Please welcome Keanu Reeves.
Keanu's unexpected E3 appearance alone replenished our electrolytes and clarified our scalps, but the frenzy surrounding what role exactly Keanu would play in the long-awaited digital dystopian RPG carried many of us through an otherwise very confusing pandemic holiday season, and that is why there's only one set of footprints. Many of the details regarding the game were kept hush-hush, and hey, that lack of transparency had, mixed results. But even after that E3 appearance, no one knew just how much of the game he'd be involved in.
You know you don't gotta speak out loud to talk to me. Changed my mind. Don't want you dead anymore.
I'm sure we were all immensely delighted to find out that we'd be sharing brain space with a hostile Keanu. It's as they say, better to be bullied by a mean Keanu in your mind than to have never loved Keanu at all.
Aim for the cat, dude! Aim for the cat! I'm trying, Evil Ted! I'm trying!
Keanu Reeves is well known for his many cinematic heroes, from Neo to John Wick. However, the actor can also play the bad guy. Join ScreenRant as we look at Reeves' villain turns, and which ones stand out as the best. Keanu Reeves has played many different kinds of villains over the years, from the psychopathic to the cold and calculated. However, only one was also Shakespearean. The adaptation of the Bard's seminal romantic comedy, Much Ado About Nothing, featured Reeves in the role of Don John. While Shakespeare may be timeless, Reeves's role in the classic comedy was so bad, it earned him his first ever Golden Raspberry nomination. This affable pair of rocker friends and their time travel adventure was an instant audience hit. When they returned for the sequel, things got turned on its head when Reeves and co-star Alex Winter ended up playing the Evil Usses, a pair of nasty robots. Reeves and Winters are just as funny as the evil pair, and it even proved that Reeves could play mean. While his most recent years have been swallowed up by the John Wick franchise, Reeves still finds time to play the bad guy role here and there. One of his more memorable recent ones is as Hank in The Neon Demon. A takedown of the world of fashion models, Reeves plays a motel owner who makes a young model feel incredibly uncomfortable. Reeves manages an aura of tension around every word and stands out in what is a visual masterpiece of a film. The Watcher may be remembered as one of the worst serial killer movies of the 2000s, but Reeves still manages to steal every scene as the cold-blooded sociopath who is at odds with James Spader's detective. As far as Reeves' best villain role, look no further than the Sam Raimi-directed horror mystery, The Gift. A violent abuser, his character breaks the mold of the typical Reeves role, and stands out all these years later as his best bad guy. Thanks for watching Screen Rant, and stay tuned for more movie news.